It's no secret that some cities are more expensive than others. A $100,000 salary buys a different lifestyle in San Francisco than it does in Memphis, Tennessee. As a result, many tools exist to help consumers determine what income would provide equivalent purchasing power between two cities. These tools work by assuming that an individual would purchase the same basket of goods and services in two cities, and then comparing the price of that basket within each city. But that assumption is misguided. For instance, according to an average of estimates I received from two popular online calculators, the cost of living in San Francisco is roughly 127% higher than it is in Memphis. These tools then suggest that, given the higher cost of living in San Francisco, someone making $100,000 in Memphis would need to make $227,000 in San Francisco to maintain their standard of living. Beyond some general limitations in the underlying data these tools often use, for example, relative tax burdens are rarely compared, there is a more fundamental problem with this approach. A well-known economic phenomenon referred to as the substitution effect suggests that the proper comparison between two cities is not an equivalent basket of goods and services. What the substitution effect tells us is that our consumption preferences change along with relative changes in price. To put it simply, when the relative costs of one good or service go up, our preference for other goods and services will increase. The perhaps counterintuitive insight of the substitution effect is that because consumption shifts as relative prices change, calculating cost of living differences based on a fixed basket of goods and services will overstate the true increase in income needed to maintain one's standard of living. Consider differences in housing and grocery costs between San Francisco and Memphis. While both goods are more expensive in San Francisco than they are in Memphis, housing is roughly 400% more expensive, whereas groceries are only 40% more expensive. Due to the fact that housing is the living expense that is relatively most expensive in San Francisco compared to Memphis, most people moving from Memphis to San Francisco would consume relatively less housing and relatively more of other goods or services. But this is not what is assumed by standard cost of living calculators. Instead, someone with a 3-bedroom home in Memphis is assumed to buy a 3-bedroom home in San Francisco, completely ignoring the fact that a median 3-bedroom home may cost as much as $1 million more in San Francisco. For people who are concerned about cost of living differences when making a move, some online shopping to create a customized budget that reflects your own unique preferences will be far more useful than the estimates provided by most calculators. Are you willing to trade your suburban home for a downsized condo in the city? Would you vacation less if you could walk to the beach instead of visiting once per year? Will you need to add a country club membership when moving away from the numerous social opportunities available in a bustling urban environment? These are questions only you can answer. And it's why you should be careful relying too heavily on cost of living calculators when making important decisions about where to live and work. Read the latest investing in funds and ETFs.